Now, there is something very slightly odd about the headline "Sausages give you cancer," but this very serious message about the cancer-causing properties of processed red meat like sausages and bacon has been given added weight by the World Health Organization. It's given processed meat the same rating as cigarettes. Experts found that by eating 50 grams of processed meat a day, the equivalent of a bacon sandwich, the risk of developing bowel cancer increases by 18%. They also found what they believe to be a probable link with unprocessed red meat too. Our health editor, Rachel Younger, is here. Rachel, it sounds pretty alarming. I know you've got some figures, so maybe you can help us make sense of how worried we actually should be about that.
Yeah, and I think the closer look at the statistics really merits that, because by simply putting these kind of meats into the same group as things like tobacco and asbestos, scientists aren't saying you're equally likely to get cancer. They're simply saying there is now sufficiently strong evidence of a risk. Well, let's have a closer look at what exactly that risk is, because that 18% increase does sound worrying, doesn't it? If you take a group of 100 people who aren't known to be daily eaters of things like sausages, ham, salami, you will find that 6 of them in the UK are likely to get bowel cancer. Those are the current figures. Now, if you take a group of 100 people who you do know to be eating a small amount of processed meat every day, then just one more of them, taking it up to 7 out of 100, will get bowel cancer. Now, take a look at the smoking statistics and you'll see just how different the figures are there. A group of 100 non-smokers, 1 of them in the UK will get lung cancer. Take a group of 100 people who smoke a pack of cigarettes a day, enormous causative effect, 20 of them will get lung cancer. That's a whopping 5-fold increase.
OK, but those of us who are not very familiar with the science, that seems a pretty... I mean, we know cigarettes are bad for us, but that seems like a pretty stark contrast between the sort of difference between smoking and processed meats, the risk. I mean, you'd almost say, looking at that, could it be a statistical error?
Well, it is a desperately stark contrast, isn't it? Look, scientists, many of them have long accepted that there is some connection between the increased cases of bowel cancer we're seeing in places like Western Europe and America and eating meat. So the advice on the NHS website has long been to try and moderate your intake. But it has to be said that there's little or no evidence in the UK, because it's been looked at, that vegetarians have any lower a rate of getting bowel cancer. There's more on that on my News at 10 blog tonight. And certainly with one group of vegetarians in Oxford, their rate of getting bowel cancer was actually higher. It's incredible, isn't it? Because, of course, we get so many food facts thrown at us. In the last few months, we've heard that, for example, eating more chocolate will lessen your risk of smoke. And I think the only thing we really can take from this is that the same nutritional advice has been around in decades. Eat plenty of fruit and vegetables, little processed food, and you'll do pretty well.
There you are.